It happened without warning.
No explosion, no earthquake, no sound. In the middle of an ordinary day, gravity failed. For less than 1 second,
The force that holds oceans to Earth,
that keeps cities grounded, that gives weight to every breath you take, was gone. Coffee cups lifted from tables. People felt their feet leave the ground.
cars grew light, as if the road had released them.
Across the planet,
Everyone felt it at the same time. Airplanes jolted, satellites drifted, the oceans hesitated. Then,
just as suddenly,
gravity returned.
no alarms, no explanation. Most people dismissed it as dizziness, a trick of the body, a moment of vertigo.
But instruments don't imagine things.
And within minutes,
Scientists around the world realized the same impossible truth.
for a brief moment in time,
Earth was not held down by anything at all, and whatever caused it was already gone.
to understand how impossible that moment was, you have to understand what gravity actually is.
Gravity isn't a switch.
It isn't a machine that can fail. According to modern physics, gravity is the shape of space itself,
Earth bends spacetime around it.
and everything nearby simply follows that curve.
That's why the moon stays in orbit, why oceans stay in place.
Why you stay on the ground.
There is no known mechanism
That can turn this curvature off. Even black holes, the most extreme objects in the universe, don't stop gravity.
they amplify it.
So for gravity to weaken everywhere on Earth at the same time, even for a fraction of a second,
Something would have had to disturb spacetime itself,
not locally,
not gradually,
but globally. And that realization is what terrified scientists the most.
because whatever caused the event
Wasn't acting like a force. It was acting like the universe itself had briefly let go. Even a fraction of a second without gravity is not harmless. Across the planet, systems that depend on precise balance reacted instantly,
satellites shifted in their orbits,
only by millimeters.
but enough to be detected. Airplanes experienced sudden loss of lift, followed by violent corrections as gravity snapped back.
Seismic sensors recorded brief, unexplained tremors, not from tectonic movement, but from Earth's crust adjusting to a missing pull. In the oceans, massive bodies of water didn't rise. They hesitated.
A pause so small no human could see it, yet large enough to ripple across the planet. Atomic clocks disagreed with each other by tiny margins.
GPS systems logged errors that couldn't be corrected. Every instrument told the same story. This wasn't a localized event. It wasn't psychological.
It was global,
And the only reason humanity survived
was timing.
gravity returned.
Before the damage could cascade,
Had it lasted longer,
seconds instead of moments, Earth would not have recovered.
in the hours that followed,
Scientists searched for a familiar explanation.
their first assumption was simple.
A gravitation wave.
Ripples in spacetime are real.
They're created when massive objects collide.
Black holes merging,
Neutron stars crashing together. These waves stretch and compress space as they pass through.
and Earth has detected them before.
So the theory was tested.
Data from gravitation wave observatories was pulled from around the world, and something was there. A brief, sharp disturbance.
But it didn't match any known signature.
It wasn't strong enough to come from a nearby collision. It wasn't long enough to explain the effect. And most disturbing of all,
It appeared to pass through Earth.
not around it, as if spacetime itself had been momentarily rewritten. No explosion was detected. No source was found. Only a single conclusion remained. Whatever caused gravity to fail did not originate in our universe, the way normal events do. And that possibility
Was far more unsettling than any known disaster. With no conventional explanation left, scientists were forced to consider ideas.
normally kept on the edge of theory,
What if something passed through Earth?
without touching matter at all, not a particle,
Not radiation,
but a distortion.
some physicists proposed an exotic mass, a remnant from the early universe, dense enough to affect spacetime, yet invisible to every known detector. Others suggested something even stranger,
A topological defect,
a flaw in spacetime itself.
left over from when the universe first formed.
If such an object intersected Earth's path, it wouldn't collide, it would overlap.
For a fraction of a second, the geometry of spacetime around Earth could have been flattened, just enough to weaken gravity everywhere at once.
Then it would be gone. No debris, no radiation.
No trace, only an effect, a cosmic fingerprint that lasted less than a heartbeat. And if that explanation is correct,
Then Earth wasn't targeted.
it was simply in the way.
After the event,
The data told a story that words could barely capture.
atomic clocks across the globe disagreed by tiny fractions of a second, enough to prove that time itself had been affected. Satellites shifted in their orbits.
Just enough to trigger automatic corrections. Seismographs recorded subtle tremors, not from the ground moving, but from Earth itself adjusting to the missing pull. Even deep space detectors, designed to catch the faintest ripples from distant collisions,
spiked at the exact moment gravity vanished.
no one had ever seen anything like it. Every instrument, on every continent, reported the same impossible truth.
For less than a second.
Gravity everywhere on Earth failed.
And whatever caused it
left no trace. The fingerprints of the universe itself
had been disturbed,
and scientists were left staring at data
that defied every law they had ever known. After the briefest moment of chaos,
gravity returned as suddenly as it had vanished. And just like that,
the world went back to normal. Scientists searched for explanations,
but found nothing.
No recurring signals,
no cosmic pattern, no repeating event.
It was as if the universe had pressed pause
on a fundamental law,
and then hit play again.
Without warning, the frightening truth is simple. We survived because it lasted less than a second, even a few more moments, and the consequences could have been catastrophic. Planes could have fallen,
oceans could have surged, satellites could have collided, Earth itself would have experienced a shock
that might have taken centuries to recover from.
And the universe, as usual,
gave no explanation, only a reminder that the rules we rely on
are fragile, and sometimes,
for reasons we cannot see, they can falter.
Gravity returned. The ocean stayed.
The satellites stayed. We stayed on the ground. But the question remains, what if it happens again? And next time, what if it lasts longer? For now, humanity walks the earth unaware that the force we take for granted is not as unshakable as we believe.
The universe whispered its power for less than a second,
and then fell silent. A fleeting reminder
that even the laws of nature can bend,
can fail,
and can leave us powerless to stop it.
We continue our lives, grounded and certain, but gravity's brief failure lingers, a secret the cosmos refuses to explain. And somewhere, in the vast darkness of space,
whatever caused it has already moved on.